It's time to go back downtown. Detroit, we've been out of the city centre for a while, but IndyCar and Roger Penske have decided it's time to go back to the heart of the Motor City.
Hi guys, I'm Mike.
And I'm Stephen.
And this is Indy Fanatics, your home for IndyCar content with weekly podcasts and feature videos.
Welcome back to the channel and to another episode of what was called the IndyCar Debates. And I think actually there have been some great suggestions there. I think the Debates 500 was a good one. Maybe if you don't like the name we've gone for there, but I quite like Greg Brown's Outside the Tub.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like, the obviously cockpit that we're getting into. We're going to go, we're taking this outside the tub. We're going to settle this like real racing fans and debate it out with our expertise that have no expertise and just have a discussion, because that's what's fun to do with fans in these times. So, hopefully in the next couple of weeks or so, we should get that feature video out on Top Gun racing. It's just been a bit hectic, but for now, we're going to have another debate. And like we said, Detroit was, the most probably relevant topic to talk about, as it was confirmed that we will be going back to downtown for 2023 on the IndyCar calendar, remembering that Roger Penske's hometown is Detroit. So this is his baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Spurred up a little bit of controversy, hasn't it, Stephen?
A little bit.
But you know what we're going to do? We're going to go back in time. We're going to give you, lay the history out for you. And then Stephen's going to give the initial reactions to it before we pose our arguments of whether we think it's a good or bad thing. Go from there. And as always in this one, we throw it back to you. So the history of the Detroit GP, it has its roots in Formula One. Actually, single-seaters, I think, have been racing in Detroit through the 1920s and 50s when it was under the American Automobile Association governing body. But in terms of the street circuit, 1982, Formula One started racing there, and it was the US Grand Prix East, because there were multiple calendars on there, and the US Grand Prix West was, of course, Long Beach. But Long Beach was popular, but was taken over from CART there. Detroit, I don't think it was ever popular at any stage in its city centre. The roads were rough. The course layout, the drivers just hated, and it was the least favourite track of the drivers on the Formula One calendar until it was removed, had its last race in 1988. They went, that's it, that's the final straw. CART, like Long Beach, said, well, hang on a minute, we're going to pick this up and we're going to make it successful. Didn't happen. 1991 was the last race in the city centre of Detroit in its original configuration, and it just, it for whatever reason, the bumpiness of the track layouts, the temporary kind of facilities, it didn't go well. So then that led to the plans of where they moved to Belle Isle, which has been in and around the IndyCar calendar ever since, and to build to its configuration that we have today, and was, in fairness, I think, as 2021 shows, it's got to a pretty successful configuration and a pretty popular, as popular street tracks are. I think it's a pretty good event. Roger Penske has poured his heart and soul into this and made the Detroit GP. Has obviously been double headers, only going to be a single race in 2022, but I think that was very much setting up for moving to downtown in 2023. This plan has clearly been in place for a while. So the news around it, Stephen, explain when it was kind of like first announced and what kind of reaction.
It's like a month ago. They went, here you go.
There you go. Months ago, on the table.
Some people like, some people don't like. Thanks for watching.
And that's today's debates video.
They came out with about a draft a month ago saying they're moving it to downtown, even though they could still race at Belle Isle. Michigan said you could still have another race there. But they moved to downtown. Then recently, we've just had a modified update of the layout.
It's like a square.
It's got a lot of long straights. Well, it's got 2 massive long straights. And then lots of tight corners. It's a street course. It's a bit like Nashville in regard. Just two big straights.
Which obviously allows for a lot of overtaking for going into heavy braking zones, which is always a positive thing. It's just the width is always on the street circuit, isn't it?
Exactly. And it's probably also going to be very bumpy still.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been met with a lot of people. We've only been watching IndyCar for 2 seasons now. And the race at Belle Isle, it's just been great. I know for a time it wasn't the best.
Yeah.
I know for fans who've been watching for forever will go, Belle Isle was pretty terrible. But in recent times, it's been pretty good. It's been one of the best races on the calendar.
Best street course. It is definitely developed into a really good street course event, I'd say.
Also, you had 2 great races where we had Ericsson's debut win this season, and then Pato's last lap blast on New Garden. Yeah. So it's like, why you've molded this great racing product on Belle Isle. Why are you now moving it to the City Centre? That's the negative reaction. I guess the positive reaction is from that small group of protesters who didn't like IndyCar taking over Belle Isle for a few weeks, who constantly protested it. So they're going to be happy about it, right? And I'm sure the businesses in Detroit are probably quite happy because business is going to be moving to them.
It's more into the downtown, the heart of Detroit as a city.
They're going to be generating more money over there.
And I think, obviously from social media and press, the teams, the drivers have been very positive about it because they're involved in the series. They have to be positive about it. They've got to big up and hype this event. But yeah, it feels like it isn't they're moving away from Belle Isle because, they want to get this exciting new race in there. The real reason is I think they don't want all the negativity around the protesters. And I think the protesters were getting more and more vocal about it. I think it's around 6 weeks they take over the park. And obviously it's in the summer. It's a national park. And, that's a big time when people are going to be out and using that park. And they're just not happy about it being used as a race course and being kind of basically shut down and shut off for large people. But
see, okay, so that's the overview.
Yeah.
Into thoughts.
Yeah.
With the protesters, it's only relatively a small group of people.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it generates a little bit of negativity, but I just don't think that would be the sole reason they move to the Detroit City Centre. Because I was reading, I heard on News Report that the race actually generates about 500,000 to 1 million per race weekend for Belle Isle.
Wow.
So for the majority of the island, it's been a humongous positive. It's only the small majority of people that are like, no!
No!
I preferred when this island sucked. But maybe because Penske loves Detroit, maybe this is Penske's move to rejuvenate downtown Detroit.
And I think that's the big one. Because obviously, the Motor City, it used to be the hub of the thing. And obviously, we've never been to Detroit. We've never been to the city. But I think generally, if people watch this and are from Detroit, you'll be able to give obviously a better argument for this in the comments. But I really think it is run down from its heyday when basically the big car manufacturers pulled out of Detroit, which has left it a little bit more run down and not as great. And that city centre isn't what it used to be in its kind of thriving heyday when initially that street circuit was probably bought to. And Detroit, I believe the 80s, it's been a steady decline since then. So yeah, Roger Penske being so passionate about Detroit, it would make sense that he would want to rejuvenate this area and be it almost like a Long Beach, because I believe the Long Beach area needed a bit of kind of bringing up, and now it's kind of a flourishing area, and the Long Beach GP is the crown jewel, and that's a really great street track on the IndyCar calendar. So there's no reason why, but like you said, Belle Isle had been moulded into that.
Yeah.
It's almost like starting from scratch again. And it's a bold move.
Yeah.
In regards to the layout itself, obviously we can't see, but having long straights into heavy braking zones means that it's going to lend itself to overtaking.
It should do, yeah.
Yeah. All it needs to do is make sure it learns from the Nashville lessons and not have too many narrow places and have the starts and restarts in the right area. But it looks like definitely. The start is on one of the big long straights. So I think where the start line is, unlike Nashville, where it's basically they're going green on that exit of the corner, I believe most of the grids will be on the kind of main straight. So we shouldn't, in theory, get the difficulties going through the corner that we saw in Nashville that brought out a lot of cautions. A lot of cautions.
Yes.
But yeah, like you said, Belle Isle, it has been a good race.
It's sad to see it go. Although, variety. It'd be nice to see a new race.
Yeah, I guess that's one way of adding a new race. You just change the location of the track.
Yeah.
The fountain as well. That's the kind of shame. The fountain has almost become a bit of an iconic celebration of jumping in the fountain to celebrate.
I forgot about that.
You lose that now.
What are they going to do? Jump in the river?
I don't think it's near the river, is it?
I thought it goes along the river. I'm forgetting the words.
All right, well...
I swear the river's right there and the track goes alongside
Okay, we're going to be throwing drivers into the river. That's what we're going to be doing. That's Stephen's suggestion to make the celebration iconic. And then it adds into that extra, little bit of drama. Does the driver get out of the river? No. That's gone off on a tangent. I understand the criticism, and obviously we always try to be as positive about IndyCar as possible because, we love IndyCar in there. And I think you can't be critical about the track too much because this might be better than Belle Isle.
Yeah, could be.
Because you can't necessarily criticize something too much that hasn't happened because you just don't know how it's going to be. And you saw with Nashville, the party they had in the heart of Nashville. They can get that sort of vibe going in Detroit and make it a real standout event. It's where IndyCar are probably traveling to making these events in the heart of cities, the street circuits, and making them parties and things that people really want to go. They want to go to the Detroit City event of there. Everything around it, as well as awesome racing going on track.
Yeah.
And also, the big factor I think in this that you have to take into account is Roger Penske. He has the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to gold.
So surely it'll be great.
I mean, he is the most successful man in IndyCar history.
Yeah.
And it's not close. And he's been involved in the sport for so long. He made Belle Isle a success. It may take a bit of time, but you feel you can't really be critical of this because Roger's involved. And anything Roger's involved, look, I'm sure there have been things that Penske's been involved in that haven't gone great in the past.
But recently, they're on a hot streak.
Yeah, absolutely. Which means, as a whole, the move surely has to be positive. If you're having a street circuit, I know a lot of people would like the Michigan 500 to come back. The race at Michigan Oval to come back as well. And if you sacrifice the street race to bring back there, but why not have both?
Believe in Roger.
I'm saying believe in Roger.
That's the slogan.
What's your final?
Believe in Roger. Believe in Roger.
Believe in Roger.
It's like, you had a great race there. Why change it? I can't really get away from that fact, but then I feel like it's more of a personal project for Roger, and we're all just along for the ride hoping it works out.
That is the best way to sum it up. Roger has decided he's going to rejuvenate Detroit, and we've just got to deal with it. Wow, I mean, I can't round off the final thought any better than that. So I guess now it's over to you. Are you on board with a Roger ride through Detroit, or are you just wanting to go back to Belle Isle? Well, you got no choice really. 2023, it's happening.
Yep.
But what are your thoughts in the comments below? Debate, keep it fun and friendly as always, and we can't wait. There were really great discussions after the Andretti episode last week, so we can't wait to kind of see the comments and discussions going on down below this week. But that's it from outside the tub. It got heated in there at no point. But
no, but we were outside
the tub.
the tub.
And that's where we'll always be, because we're not racing drivers. But if they're new around here and enjoy the content we do, what can they do, Stephen?
They can like, subscribe, and ding that bell.
Dig it! So for now, you Indy fans, keep racing!